My name is Sherry Fowles and I'm 51 years old. And I thought I would share with the world today about my coming out to my family. I'm the middle child of three, two girls and a boy. And I was known as the one to be the most successful. I went off to college, came home and worked as a teacher in corporate America. And then along the lines, I strayed away and got caught up in some negative behaviors and was just struggling with my identity at that time. And so I just went out and sought out to try to mask how I was feeling based on some of the things that I didn't think I would be accepted. I never thought I would be good enough. I never thought I'd be accepted. I created a life that was so not pleasing to my family. But once I got an understanding of becoming okay with who I was, I made a decision to go home and tell my family. But they found out. I remember them finding out before I had gotten into some trouble. And I remember them finding out before I was able to tell them. And my brother come running over to my home, and he was like, he came over there like, the British is coming, warning me. Guess what? Mom and Dad are coming over here and they found out that you were gay. And I'm like, for real? He said, well, I understand, sis. He says, after all the abusive relationships that I had been in before with all of me, he said, I'm not surprised. And so that same day in September, I'll never forget it. It's almost like that song saying, that day in September, I would always remember. Well, I never forget the day that my family came over, my mom and my dad, they came over and at 10 o'clock that night. And it says, what is this that I'm hearing about you living with this gay girl? And I had brought this young lady around them for 6 months prior to this moment. They didn't have a clue that we were gay. And then we always perpetrated like we had 2 separate bedrooms. And I said, well, why do you think she's the only one gay? And I felt empowered because I finally spoke up to who I was. Why did she have to be the only one gay? And my dad says, he looked at me and he says, now I know you're crazy. He said, because if that happens, first you was on drugs and now you this. But that moment struck a whole turn in my entire life. A couple of weeks later, I went down to the house and my mom looked at me and she says, I don't care who you love, you're still my daughter and we will always love you. So we will embrace you and whoever you choose to love. She says, I know plenty of powerful, successful black lesbians all over the country and you're going to be just one of them. And once I got that confirmation from my mom and dad, there was nothing that anybody in the world could do or say to me to bring harm to me. And that's the day I became free to be me. And that's the end of my story.